What's good, everybody? Welcome into Early Edge Live. We do it every single weekday afternoon when there's a big game at night. Certainly tonight, Western Conference Finals. Shocking that this series is still going. The Suns and the Clippers. Suns currently giving one. And if you watched early today, we already have one sweat going on. The Rockies up 3-2. An official play from the show today. Let's bring in the stars of the show. We're here every single day, 5 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. And I can already see in the comments section, everybody's already ready to have their life changed by a year-long subscription. You know we give away at least 2 every single day. So get those likes going. We'll get to 100. We'll give away 1. And then also leave your Twitter handle and the over or under, whatever you think is going to hit tonight in the basketball game. And we'll give another one for that. And then if we get to 200 likes, we'll give another one for that. So potentially 3. We get to 300. That's next level stuff. So I won't even get into that unless we get to 200. All right. Let's introduce the stars of the show. Right next to me, he may or may not have a huge tennis bet going on as we speak and had to stop in order to do this show. M Squared, what's up, man?
That is factual. We did stop. Everything is tied up. We hit the curfew. We'll get to be refreshed when we continue the match. But yeah, fired up. It's Wimbledon week. We started perfect over there. Perfect day yesterday. I'm going to give some more subscriptions tomorrow morning after we go perfect again today.
I love it. I love it. And if you're wondering what M Square is talking about, he made history this morning on the show. First time ever that we had a winning bet from the day before, cash minutes before the next day's show started. That's what he did. Sam Query, thank you very much. Woke up to a nice little boost in my account. Zach Attack. I know you're fired up to be on the show today. How are you, sir?
Yeah, little 2 days going on. Feels like 10, 15 years ago with summer reps. But no, it feels good to be back on last day of June. Let's get to it.
Oh, yeah. We're heading into July 4th weekend, which is always a crazy busy weekend in the world of sports. And you know he's our male model here at the show. We call him Jay Smooth, Justin Perri. Why are you shaking your head? Embrace it. Own it. You're a good-looking dude. What's up?
I'm doing well, Coach. I mean, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You know, I'm sitting here sweating out the Rockies. I posted on Twitter when they were down 2-0 to the Pirates. It's taking them live on the money line. Got a nice little plus 155 bet going. We just got the lead. I have the play on SportsLine. We had the play on the show. So I'm hoping we lock in the win while we're live. That'd be great.
That would be awesome. And I guarantee you won't react to it on the show. You'll never react to it. That's just
me.
Your cup of tea. Me? All right, let's jump right in because everybody wants to talk about the basketball game. But we're going to get to that in a second. But first, we're going to go over our early plays this morning. If you didn't see the morning show, M Squared, you're on the White Sox today on the run line. Let's quickly go through it for those people who still want to put the plays in. You still got time. The game's still coming. Why do you like the White Sox run line tonight?
Yeah, I really love this White Sox run line tonight. And the biggest question mark about it when I gave it out this morning was the status of Yohan Moncada, switch hitter for the Chicago White Sox. Hits well from that left-handed side. He is in the lineup. Love the play. I'm actually going to add the first 5 run line at plus 115 as well. So I have the first 5 run line, full game run line. You want to play the money line, go for it. Love them both, but love the White Sox today with Moncada in. The reason being, Bailey Ober, he struggled the last time out. We got very excited about him. I believe it was the game that he pitched against Seattle, right? Mm-hmm. On the road in Seattle, one of the spots where you should probably perform well, right? And we all got so excited about it. This guy's legit. He's here for real. He's really struggled against teams that have a few left-handed bats. I like that about them here. I don't project them really to pitch past the 4th inning. So I love this White Sox team. Dylan Cease, someone that we continue to want to bet on just a little bit. He's had a lot of bad luck in terms of the batted ball luck. And that's evident by the expected weighted on base average, only 296. The expected slugging I talked about on the early edge this morning, only 367. Based on someone who's getting hit around, we would expect that number to be at least 420, 440. You know, the bad pitchers are up at plus or at 0.500. So it's a lot of good numbers there on the expected data. I like this spot a lot for the White Sox.
All right, very good. You heard the man. First 5. Did you say, by the way, I was writing something down. The first 5 on the run line, not on the money line, correct?
Correct. On the run line, minus half a run is going to come back at plus 115. So it's going to be, for me personally, I'm going to play the run line on the first 5, run line on the full game. If you're not comfortable with that, I do like the money line still, minus 121 at William Hill right now. Just going to be a matter of your personal preference, but I like both of the plus money plays. I think this is a scenario where the White Sox can jump out to an early 4-0 lead and then kind of carry it into one of those 6-3 games for the White Sox tonight.
All right, very good. All right, so those are your first two plays today. If you haven't got it in, get it in right now. All right, let's move down to Zacatech. We're going to talk about your son's pick in a few minutes, but I want to concentrate for now on the Mets plus 143. You had them last night as well. They trailed 3-0, came back to win 4-3. Why do you like them 2 days in a row?
Yeah, usually I don't like to play the same team 2 days in a row, but I will here just based on how they got that win. They shouldn't have got the win. They were down 3-0. Seemed like they were dead in the water, but the Braves, they left Charlie Morton a little bit in too long. He gave up 3 straight hits. One was a 3-run shot. The bullpen came in, and they got another run right to tack on there. Didn't do anything else the rest of the game, and the bullpen's still going to be fresh. I think they can still use Seth Lugo or Edwin Diaz. Lugo only pitched 13 pitches. Edwin Diaz just 7. So they both can come in and finish off this game tonight. And then I talked about Max Fried in the early edge this morning. He's had that zigzag going on. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. I think that pattern continues. The pressure's on the Braves here. If they lose here, it'd be 6.5 games back of the Mets going into the weekend.
Yeah, you don't want to do that heading into July.
Going into Thursday.
Back. Yeah. So, all right. So we're on the Mets again. Plus, it's all the way up to plus 143 the last time that we checked. The Maestro, clearly he isn't here today, but he does have one play from the morning show. Blue Jays -1.5, -125. They have been terrific. They won 9-3 last night over they're playing the Orioles. I lost track. The Orioles wasn't the Orioles beat the Astros last night. Who are the Blue Jays playing? Somebody help me quickly. Who the hell are the Blue Jays playing?
Seattle Mariners, team we like to pick on pretty frequently. Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Mikey. So the Seattle Mariners beat them 9-3 last night, and we believe they're going to do it again tonight. I love playing the Blue Jays team total, too. I played it last night over 5.5. Great play by the Rockies. So still up 3-2 there. All right, then from the site today, we're on the Rockies, as you can see, -145. So we're going to sweat that for the next hour. And then we're going to switch our play from game 1 in the NHL. We're going to go Lightning Canadiens under 5. They scored 3 goals in the third period to carry it over the total. But I think, and we think, Matt Severance believes that the Canadiens will play better defense. Carey Price will be better in the goal. So let's take the under in that as well. And then you see the gem for the day. Chicago White Sox in the money line. Phoenix Suns pick 'em. And then Tampa Bay Lightning plus 403. Really, really nice. All right, Jay Smooth, I've made you sit there long enough. I know you're chomping at the bit. You got 2 plays that you are prepared to give out live here on the show. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so my plays today are going to be on the MLB, where I've been playing a lot this year. I'm really feeling a couple teams tonight. I'm going to be taking the Yankees against Shohei Ohtani. He hasn't been nearly as good on his road starts. He's had 4 road starts this year, and his ERA hasn't been nearly as good away. I think the Yankees, who looked a little bit better last night, looks like the team is going to follow Giancarlo Stanton, and I think he'll probably have a decent night against Ohtani. On the other side, we have Domingo Germán, who's been much, much better in the evening. He should be able to limit this Angels offense. We have not seen that much from the bottom of their order. They're more dominant with, the top of their order. Ohtani has been hitting more home runs than the Angels team has in the last 14 days. So I think Ohtani has 10 home runs in that span. The rest of the Angels have 9. So yeah, if they can limit Ohtani's damage, he's hit, I think, 3 home runs in the 2 games. We got a lot going on here, but if he can manage, if we can see what's going on here, Ohtani has been just raking compared to the rest of the team, while Germán has been a lot better in terms of being at home and then also pitching at night. He's just been so much better at night. I was talking about this on my SportsLine blurb. He's going to be almost a different pitcher here. He has a sub-1 whip, which is just incredible pitching numbers for him. So, yeah, I'm going to be taking the Yankees tonight at -125. I think it's a pretty good price to back this team. Then my next play, I'm going to go to take the Phillies on the run line, -1.5 runs. This is more about backing Aaron Nola at home. He's been almost like twice as effective at home. His ERA is sitting at a much more favorable number. Then he's going to be taking on, a team that hasn't been nearly as, strong. I think he should just lock down this winning. The Phillies should be able to get a couple runs on their opponent tonight.
All right, very good. So once again, the Yankees on the money line over the Angels -125. Then the Phillies on the run line. Last night, they were at 4-0 until late in the game and then gave up 3 late ones to win 4-3. Hopefully, That does not happen tonight.
Their bullpen's been a little rough, but I think they should be able to get it done, and Nola should keep them, in this one pretty decently. And if you want to take out the bullpen, you can always, go with the first 5 on the Phillies spread as well.
Okay, very good. So maybe a little first 5 bet there as well. All right, we do have 2 plays for Mad Max and the Thunderdome. He's been very silent on Twitter as of late, just finishing up finals, that sort of thing. So we're going to go Mariners, Blue Jays. No run in the first inning. It's becoming a very, very popular way to bet. It's over after 1 inning. So plus 120, no runs between the Mariners and Blue Jays. I've already put my play in. And then also in the Padres and the Reds game, Joe Musgrove under 6.5 strikeouts. The last time he faced this Reds team, he went 7 strong innings, but only struck out 2 Reds. So we love this number under 6.5. Again, that's from Mad Max and the Thunderdome, courtesy of SportsLine. Keep those likes coming. As soon as we get to 100, my guy Greg's going to text me and give me the first winner of a year-long subscription to SportsLine. All right, let's get into the NBA. That's what everybody's talking about. Hard to believe, guys, that we are in Game 6, that the Clippers once again staved off elimination, and they won on the road. They're back at the Staples Center tonight. So here's what the numbers look like. The Suns, -1, the total 215, and the odds to win the series have now really shifted. Suns still are powerful -600. Clippers plus 425, but that's severely going to change that the Clippers can win again tonight. Mikey, let's start with you. Zach, let's start with you. You're on the Suns today, -1. Do you still feel good about that pick?
I still feel good, and I think it's just about when a team leaves the door open too many times. We knew the Clippers were going to play a strong game sooner or later. They did that in Game 5, but if you go back to Game 2 and Game 4, they just let those ones get away, especially Game 4. I think it's going to come back to haunt them. And I'm going to talk about a little bit something different that I didn't touch on this morning. The veteran leadership of the Suns, they have that pedigree, whether it's going to be Chris Paul or Jay Crowder. One of them is going to bounce back tonight. It might be Jay Crowder. I have it right here. Let's pull this back up here. The points that Jay Crowder's had the last few games: 4 points, 3 points, 9 points, 2 points. We saw him step up in the Lakers series. We saw him step up in the Nuggets series. I think it's his time to shine tonight.
And you also have one other play you want to give out, correct, for the game, a prop bet? Is that right?
Yeah, once we delve into props, I'll be ready to go on that one.
Okay, cool. Look at him producing the show. So I'll wait.
It's on the Clippers side, so I don't want to mess that with.
That's all right. I also want to hit on the total because we talked about it a lot, Mikey, before the last game, and it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping because the total has been so far under in both series. But it finally corrected, and it got the total to 218. It went off at 215. It was 116 to 102. So the over came in, much to the chagrin of a lot of people. Tonight, it's right there at 215 again. What does your gut tell you about pace of play? And I think it's going to go over because I don't think the Suns are going to play that slow anymore. You can't keep doing that. But what do you think? You're the numbers guy.
Yeah, no, I actually tend to agree with you there. It's at 214.5 at William Hill. I actually make it 218.6 in the simulations. A couple things here. I think one thing, look, the Clippers fought hard, got that win, obviously. They're still shorthanded. It's no secret at this point, especially with Zubats potentially out again in this one. I do think that the Suns go a little faster pace. I think they squeeze they actually don't shorten the rotation. I think they lengthen the rotation just a little bit and keep fresh bodies and keep it out there as much as they possibly can. So I do agree. This one is very similar to the point where I want to say market was mostly right on it. Everyone wants to bet that under trend after they've seen it so often recently. But I do think 218, like personally, I think 217.5 should be the number. If I ran a sports book and could set the market where I think it should be, not where the market is moving it, that's where it would be for me. So I like the over at 214.5.
McClure Sportsbook coming soon, everybody.
I was going to say, and maybe you do. You don't have to tell us if you do, but I'd be shocked if as this continues to grow, because I saw a number the other day that all NFL teams, because of sports betting, are going to be worth $8 to $10 billion in the next 3 to 5 years. Every single franchise, which means that setting the number is going to be even more important than it's ever been before. So guys like Mikey, boy, the world, it's like an oyster for you because there's very
That's
few
the plan.
people. Yeah, well, you, Jay Smooth, Zach, guys like you, and maybe a host or two. Maybe you never know. You never know. Now, Jay Smooth, I know you always have a thought on the NBA game, but I got to tell you, I always like to keep my eye on the comment section. And a guy named Neil wants to know, before I ask your question on the NBA game, do you need to duck out early to get to a photo shoot today?
Dang, I actually let me check with my assistant. Let me see if I have any shows coming up soon, guys. I'll just make sure that my schedule's clear before I come on and give you out some sports analytics. But yeah, no, nothing on the docket today. I'm actually leaning on the under. I'm seeing some pretty sharp money coming in on it. Again, I think that the defense returns tonight. I understand what you're saying in terms of how you think the Suns are going to play faster, but I don't necessarily think that means that it has to be, at the demise of the under. I think that they can and will limit the Clippers tonight. I think they put this, to sleep. They put their mark on it, and the Suns are going to close it out and go to the finals in 6 games. So I think the under hits in more of a dominant fashion in terms of the defense that the Suns put out tonight.
All right, so I know that you just had a SportsLine showdown bet lose. So you may not want to go back to the trough again, but I'm just throwing it out there that I would take the over if you want the under, and we can do it right now. We can do it right here.
Yeah, you want to, I have to pay Larry still. So, I'll do it. I said to him.
Whoa, you have not paid Larry yet?
No, I told him I would do it live on the show. I would let everybody see that it's happening. We would be here live as a SportsLine family, and I would send it to him. And he didn't.
You didn't read the terms. You didn't read the terms.
Clearly,
you see the 10% interest every 12 hours.
Where's the book rules, guys? Man. Where's the book rules? I don't see this. Where's the SportsLine book rules here?
Interesting. I make the rules, son. I make the rules. And the fact. Mikey paid him 8 hours ago. 8 hours ago. For those of you wondering at home, what are they talking about? Well, these two knuckleheads next to me, they bet the maestro, the king, our guy, our leader. But they gave him 2.5 games. All he had to do was win 2 games in the Hawks-Bucks, which they did last night. So the bet's over after 4 games. So they had to Venmo. Here on the show, we make bets all the time. It's real money.
We're going to do it right now, too.
All right, so Justin is going to take the time right now to Venmo the maestro live on the air. So all of you who are wondering, now, full disclosure, before I embarrass myself, I owe Matt Severs money from a bet that we had the other day, but I have not been on the show live with him.
10%.
Pay him. Yeah. Well, rules are different for me, Jay Smith.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I get it.
All right. All right. Let's jump into those prop bets that Zach wants to talk about so much, because these numbers have staggered. They've moved. And last game, Ayton has been a lock for us, and he had an off game. They had an off game, and we all got stuck with that loser after 12 games in a row. So let's talk about these props. And Zach, you can go ahead. I think Greg has the whole starting lineup made. If not, we can just go through it.
Before I go in, I do have a take on the total, though, on the Sun side. Because
go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
In the closeout games, you have to be cautious here. I would lean on the over, but you have to be cautious because the Clippers are going to play that extra extension. They're going to play their starters that extra extension, even if they're down, because we saw the Suns in the closeout game against the Lakers. That one went over, 113-100, barely went over, but it went over because of those last few minutes. And then against the Nuggets, that closeout game, 125-118. So I think just like in college basketball, those extra last minutes are going to be overextended.
I'm sorry, Zach. Justin was
got it up. He's got it up.
He was being so rude.
I'm so rude. I know. I'm so rude.
You're giving a heartfelt take, and also
we might get some extra cash out of that.
Like, give me
maybe you got to jump on the bet too and take the over, man.
All right. So what's our number, Mikey? You set our number for me and Jay Smooth, and I love what Zach just said. I'm feeling so good about myself right now. What's our number on the bet?
Well, we can use William Hill. We can use a consensus. I want to see where the consensus is right now in the market. It probably is going to be 214.5 is the consensus.
214.5.
You could say 215, but it's not fun to have a push unless we write some sort of push at my sportsbook goes to me. Then I'm okay with that. But otherwise, it's going to be 214.5.
You are the numbers guy, so whatever you say, I'm going to go with, and you're Jay Smooth's guy. So, are you cool with 214.5?
Oh yeah, man. Let's do it. I got the under, right. You got the over. Let's make it a bet.
Boom! SportsLine showdown one more time. These are my favorite bets. And they're the least amount that any of us bet on anything. And I love these more than anything. I really, really do. Keep the comments coming in. We'll get to Eric says, I like this show. Good flow, good info. It's clear everyone has followed the games and the lines. I used to watch whatever. It just I need to read all these before I actually read all this. We don't take shots at anybody else. We just do our thing, and we're changing the game. And they can do whatever they want, and we respect everybody.
Coach, can I give one more take on the actual side before we get into the props? Just real quick.
Of course.
So I'm in agreement with Zach here on the Suns. I think that the Suns see one clear opportunity as well. They want to close this out tonight no matter what. Knowing that Atlanta won that game, they definitely, every team is paying attention, right? The Suns are paying attention to that game last night. Knowing that Atlanta won that game and that series is going to get prolonged, they want to wrap this up as quickly as possible, get that extra little bit of rest here for Chris Paul. I think they're going to sell out and do everything they possibly can. I mentioned them playing a little deeper rotation. I expect them to play a little deeper rotation in the first half of this game and put the pressure on and run up and down the floor on the Clippers. But look for them to extend it for him. Look for a big game out of Booker. Booker's probably going to be that guy that might touch 45 minutes in this one tonight. So we'll get to that here in a few minutes. But I do think the Suns do everything they possibly can tonight. Even though they feel like they probably have it in hand, even if they drop this one, they're going to close it out tonight.
Yeah, we know you never want to go to a game 7. Ever go to a game 7. And I think you bring up a very, very interesting point because Monty Williams continues to say it, but his team is not doing what he says they need to do. And if you get the Clippers going, it may not pay off in the first 24 minutes. But to Mikey's point, it could pay off in the fourth quarter when guys are a little bit short on their jumpers, a little bit slower getting back, and that's when the Suns can start to take over. So very interesting information there. And I think what you're saying, Mikey, and correct me if I'm wrong, on the side you're leaning towards the Suns?
Yes, definitely. I may have a minus 2.4 in the Sims. It's, you basically at this point, it's enough of an edge to play it. I haven't done so yet, but it's there. We're seeing if we're going to get any buying on the Clippers side late as the home team, but it doesn't look like we're going to get any more. So,
okay. Very good. I know we have some baseball questions in the comments. We're going to get to baseball in a second. We still have a lot more to get to in the NBA. We're approaching halfway through the hour. It's crazy how fast this goes. Keep those likes coming in. We're very, very close to 100 likes. And then leave your Twitter handle and over under, and we'll give away at least 2 year-long subs to SportsLine. And the Rockies have scored again. 4-2.
Let's go.
Bottom of the 6th. 1 runner on. We'll keep a look on that. I love cashing plays. By the way, if some of you followed SportsLine and played the Cubs on the run line today, like I did, our apologies. Cubs up 7-0 after the first inning. They're down 15-7. Can't make it up. 15-7. 15 unanswered runs. The Cubs are on my permanent fade list. Permanent fade list. All right, let's get into prop bets tonight because we have been really, really heavy. We love props. We love props. So before I get into the point totals, Zach, I'm going to let you give out your play, and then we'll get into what everybody likes as far as what the numbers are looking like for each individual player. So, but what prop do you like in this game tonight on the Clippers side?
You know what? Sometimes I've been real sneaky with these player props on the show. This time I'm not going to be. I'm going to stick with the star player of the Clippers, Paul George, over 46.5 points, assists, and rebounds. I just love what he's doing right now. You're going to expect him to decline. He's not going to shoot 75% from the field like he did in Game 5, but he has the roundabout stats. He's getting over double-digit rebounds the last 3 games. He's had 6 or more assists the last 3 games, so he's not going to go down without a fight tonight against the Suns. I think Tyronn Lue is going to play him as many minutes, tell him to take as many shots as he needs to. He's going to continue to get to the free throw line, and it's a very, very high number, but I like it to go over 46.5 points, assists, and rebounds.
All right. He has been very, very busy. Just his point total is 30.5, and he's the highest point total of anybody in this particular game. I'm looking for the Devin Booker to compare the two. I don't see Booker anywhere yet.
27.5, I believe, was Booker's number.
So 27.5, and then so there are the Suns props first. 27.5. Anybody can jump in here. Just raise your hand if you want to talk. And is there a number here that you really, really like the over, or a number here you really, really like the under? Anybody can go. Go ahead, Mike. You can go first.
I like the over on Booker, but I'm waiting because I don't think the market's going to move it really off of that number. But I like the over, especially if Zubats is out for the Clippers, which I think hurts Ayton, believe it or not. It shouldn't in theory, but it does kind of hurt Ayton just a little bit, just the way that they're playing. So I like Booker a lot at that number. The median number for me is 29.9. Pretty meaningful edge on that. The 27 number, it's high, but again, I think that Booker's going to be that guy that plays the 45 minutes. They're not going to ask Chris Paul to do that. He's going to play his 35, 37, but Booker's going to be out there, might get, and the reason why I say I like this too, and what's important about it is the extra 3 minutes for Devin Booker it's likely going to come in a scenario with Chris Paul off the floor, where he's going to have more usage, a little bit better situation. So that is why the extra 3 minutes for Devin Booker is pretty significant when it comes to a number like this, because it's not like he's playing alongside Chris Paul for those minutes. Right. He is the true alpha in those extra 3 minutes, which, when in those situations, it's likely end of quarter situations, start of quarter situations, ones where they're looking for 2-for-1s, things like that. I think you can pick off an extra 2 to 3 points in that situation very easily.
I kind of like, as I'm looking at it, you make those comparisons to Chris Paul. Chris Paul, the last 3 games that he's played since missing the first 2 with COVID, he's been well under 50% from the floor. I just don't think he has his gas tank back. He's not going to play as much. I like the under 19.5 for Chris Paul tonight, even though I think he's going to give everything he has because he's never been to an NBA Finals and he wants it more than anybody. But I think that number is too high for him right now based off of what we've seen the last 3 games. Jay Smooth, Zach, anything you see here before we move to the Clippers side that you like the over or the under on?
I'll mention Jay Crowder once again. I didn't know it was 9.5, but I'll take the over 9.5. I think he bounces back. He's been shooting really poor in the past 2 games, 1 for 10 from 3-point range, only 4 points, 3 points the past 2 games. But he has to get going. He's been efficient in these type of games once the series is extended. Did it against the Lakers when LeBron was joking with him on the floor. Did it against the Nuggets. Yeah. In Game 6, Game 4. So I like him to bounce back tonight. He has to. If not, we're going to see a lot of Cam Johnson.
Ding, 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 ding. We're working on a sounder, by the way. Whenever one of our teams scores during the live show, we're going to get there. The Rockies score again. 5-2 Rockies. Bottom
love
of the
it.
To hit. Let's go.
I love it.
Jay Smooth, any opportunity for you before I move to the Clippers side?
No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to talk a little bit about the Clippers, I think.
Okay, let's switch over to the Clippers and let's show those props. Greg doing an incredible job producing for us today. Thank you, Greg. So on the Clippers side, we already gave out the par, 46.5, courtesy Zack Attack. Here are the points props. Again, anybody can go. Anything you like here from a points perspective. Man has been very popular for us. Jay Smooth, you can go first.
Please, yeah. So I'm gonna take a look at my guy, Marcus Morris. Was a Knick. Really like him. I think he has been, part of the reason the Clippers were able to do what they did. Not just part. He was the main reason. I mean, he scored 22 points. He shot 9 of 16 from the floor. He played 38, almost 39 minutes in the last game. I don't see them going away from him. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to look to Reggie Jackson as well. I think that also is another probable one. I really see this being sort of a 3-man, game for the Clippers between George, Morris, and Jackson. So, I'd probably look for them to be the main contributors. But I think the Morris number has the most value in terms of him potentially hitting this, in the first half, or at least having 10 points before it goes to the half. I saw our guy, Tim Doyle, talking about how Morris has been just posting up Devin Booker. So I think that also can keep happening. And Morris's prop looks like a good one to me.
Didn't he have 20 in the first half of Game 5?
Oh, I don't know if that's totally true, but I know he finished 22.
Yeah, he had a lot. It was most of them were in the first half. I know that. I don't know if that's – all right, we've got a winner. Ding, 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 ding. All right, we've hit 100 likes. Thank you all very much. So, at Ryan J. Dobbs, you, sir, are now part of our family at SportsLine. You just want a year-long subscription. And Greg, our incredible producer, he will reach out to you on social media and give you all the details how you can cash in. Keep those Twitter handles coming in the comment section. And then put over under just to show that you're paying attention and you're listening to what I'm saying. And by the end of the show, in the next 20 minutes, we'll give away another year-long sub. If we can get to 200 likes, we'll give away a third one. So we get to 200. We get pretty close every day as the audience continues to grow. So get those likes and get that Twitter handle, and we will continue to give away because we want as many people as possible to be a part of what we're doing. All right, Mikey or Zach, any thoughts on any props here on the Clippers side? Either one.
I'm right on board with. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
Real quick, I'm all in on Paul George with you. Over 30.5. I think this number honestly should be 33.5. Should be right where Giannis normally is. So I was with you on the PAR as well. I had that up to 49 in the simulations. So very much in on Paul George. I think it's going to be George and Booker trading buckets and hopefully taking this game over the total as well. But that's where I'm at on it. That's the biggest edge on the board for the Clippers for sure.
Okay. Zach, go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick with Reggie Jackson. I would take over 20.5 points. I think similar to DeAndre Ayton of the Suns, they haven't been able to adjust in the postseason his total enough because he just keeps rising each game, each round. He only averaged 10 points in the regular season. The first round, he averaged 15 points. Second round, 18 points. And right now, he's up to 22 against the Suns. And he's just very, very streaky. He's having those stretches where he's going to make 2 or 3 threes in a row. And I think that continues to happen. And keep in mind, this might be his last game of the season. He's aiming for a new contract. Only has a 1-year deal, $2.4 million.
Oh, he's playing like much better than a $2.4 million player. I mean, are you kidding me? That's the bargain of the century. He's playing like a $10 million player or $15 million player. He really, really is. So over 20.5 there. And they're also playing, as we've mentioned, a very, very tight lineup. They're only going 6 or 7 deep. So they're going to need somebody to score. And if they get up to 120, like a lot of us think they might, 115, 120, they're going to need some of these guys to score. So we like the Paul George. We like the Reggie Jackson. We like the Marcus Morris, those three. Man has been hard to figure out because the other day you gave the under, Zach, and he sailed on the over.
In the last minute. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. And that was my fault. I should have had it with the rebounds. I think
that's all right. It happens. All right. As the time flies by. All right. So that's enough on the NBA game, and we will revisit it quickly at the end of the hour. But we got a ton of baseball to get to today. Again, we have the Rockies. We're up 5-2, bottom of the 6th, so that's really, really good news. And there has been plenty of day baseball. We mentioned the Brewers. They're now up 15-7 in the top of the 8th. The Nationals are up 6-5 over the Rays. And the Cleveland-Detroit game, they're playing a doubleheader because they got rained out last night. What a shock. It's still raining there. They haven't even started the first game yet today. So those are the 4 games that have gone off. The Cardinals beat the Arizona Diamondbacks already 7-4 was the final there. They were minus 200 today. So a little hard to lay 200 on a Cardinals team that has been terrible, but they get the job done. All right, let's jump into the board for tonight and quickly go through it. Anybody has a thought, as we always do, just jump right in because we know we have people that bet on everything. Angels, Yankees, 4 o'clock, the first one. I know, Justin, you love the Yankees side of things as they finally got their bats going last night. You like them again today.
Yeah, like I said, a little earlier, I think that German has been a lot better in his night starts, and I think that he'll get that again. I mean, players do, depend on routines. Some people are specific. They're not as functioning in terms of how they get themselves ready to throw. These are like fine-tuned athletes who are, throwing a little baseball 100 times as fast as they can. It does make a difference to some guys. Maybe it's mental. Maybe he just likes pitching at night. Well, he's been a lot better. So I think he's, we have the stat we can pull up, but it's been a lot better. I think the Yankees continue to hit. I know that Judge and Gio Urshela are actually going to be out of the lineup tonight, but I think that what we're still going to see is enough hitting from Giancarlo Stanton and even Gary Sanchez tonight against Ohtani, who also performs a little bit worse away from home in the 4 starts away he's had, 7 at Angels Park. So he has a lot less experience on the road, and the numbers have been worse. I think we still get some hitting from those Yankee bats, and they'll put up some runs. It looks like they're starting to come alive, and they really need to win this one, man. This is almost like a must-win game for this team.
Hey, the name is befall me. Manager of the Yankees, quickly help me.
Boone.
Thank you, Aaron. I worked with him for freaking 5 years at ESPN. Are you kidding me? Sorry, Aaron, if you're watching, and I know he is. He's one of my favorite people that I've ever worked with. When he got the job, and then Cora got the job with the Red Sox, They were two guys that I worked very, very closely with. So when you see your buddies get these big time jobs, it's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. And Aaron Boone said 2 nights ago, he said, our season is on the line right now.
Yep.
And when you say that publicly, the players have to respond. They responded last night. I love the play by you today, based simply off of that and the numbers that you're giving out. The next one on our board at SportsLine is also a game that Jay Smooth is on. Philadelphia and the Sims, 4.3, Miami, 3.9, but you like them on the run line. And -1.5. And I like the number there. And at home, and with the heat being in the East Coast, you really like the -1.5.
Yeah, I mean, here also, I just think that the Miami offense has really been anemic in the last 2 weeks. I think they're like 4th worst in the MLB in weighted runs created. I think that's about 23% worse than league average right now over the last 14 days. So it just has not been pretty for this Miami offense. And now they have to face Aaron Nola at home, where he's much better. And to cap it all off, the Marlins are starting a guy who really has not made it out of the 5th inning in any start this year. So you're going to see extended bullpen action for the Marlins. I think that usually means that the Phillies have a better chance to win this tonight than their line indicates. I like them. I like their offense. I'm a little worried about the bullpen. So if you really want to like lock that down and even take a little juice and take it on the F5 because you're going to pay a price for that just because of how bad the Phillies bullpen has been. But I still think that they outclass the Marlins and win by multiple runs tonight.
It sounds like you were talking about taking a train out of Grand Central Station right there. You're like, take the F5, stop at the Bronx. If you're just joining us, we're about 40 minutes into our live. We do it every single weekday. Hit that like button. We're trying to get to 200 likes. Also, leave your Twitter handle. And funny little comment. If Coach doesn't remember his buddies' names, I feel for his enemies. Hey, we're trying to do it. I've got a million things going on here on the show. Forgetting a name is mundane. Also, handle and also over under, and you will be eligible. Even if you already hit the like button, you still have a chance to win another year-long subscription. Let's go, guys, and anybody can jump in here. San Diego, they're a team that has been under the radar, getting back to being really, really good. They won last night on the road against Cincinnati. They are big-time favorites today. How much reservation do we have laying a big number in Cincinnati on the road if you're the Padres today? Mikey?
Definitely a little bit. Definitely a little bit. I think that this one kind of qualifies. You've seen Justin and I do it a few times. It kind of qualifies as one where I would actually take an alt line all the way up to -2, -2.5, and really make sure you're getting some significant plus money on it. I think it's one of those scenarios where it's a victory that they come out and they dominate early and just kind of carry that lead, or it's going to be one that you could see them win a 1-run game, drop the game. You know, it's going to be a competitive game at the end here. So that's the way I would handle it with them. Certainly not laying the -190, or I guess that's the first 5-inning run line. Trying to look at the alt line on it. I want to say at William Hill, -2.5 is +120, -2 is +100. I would probably play at -2, even though you're inviting the push condition exactly at even money. I think that's, the same condition that you're getting on that run line. But I'm okay with the push condition, making sure I'm not laying any juice on this team on the road. So that's the way I would handle this one.
Okay. So those alternate lines are something, if you're a new bettor, be very careful about. Make sure you hit the right ones, and also listen to guys like I have here on the show, because we do that every now and then. You can bring the juice way down, but you have to lay a few more runs. Zach, any plays other than the ones that you had that you're kind of looking at? Because I want to make sure that you get time today on the show, too, to some leans that you may like tonight in baseball. Anything?
Well, the last game of the day, I almost gave this out on the show this morning, but Texas, big underdog against Oakland. I think anytime you go against a team on a win streak, that's very dangerous. 4-game win streak, their highest of the year. They beat Oakland 2-4 last week, beat them last night. They got a couple extra runs against that bullpen. I like their confidence right now, and I think that line's a little bit high based on Bassett's 8-2 record this year. I think it's value. If the Mets win, I might add that play tonight.
Okay.
I don't want to go with 2 big underdogs, though.
Make sure that you follow all my guys on social media, because they all give away plays throughout the day when the numbers come out or the props come out. I just because I like the entertainment value, I want to read to you the breakdown of picking the A's on SportsLine from the SDQL gurus. if you guys will indulge me just for a second.
Let's hear it,
My
Coach.
favorite thing in the world.
The Athletics are 21-0 as 200-plus favorites after a home game in which they hit multiple home runs, and 15-0 as 140-plus favorites with Chris Bassett when they scored first in his previous start. The Rangers are 0-19 as 170-plus road underdogs following a road game in which they hit at least one home run. Let that sink in for a second. I love the Gurus. They have a good record. But Mike,
they have a great record.
Where they find this stuff is beyond me. And I find it highly entertaining whenever I read it. So thank you for inviting me on that.
I want to I'll comment. I love the Gurus. I love the SDQL. It's the sports database query language, and it's actually available for like anybody to really check out and learn how to investigate, which is great. But what I sort of see there are these independent looks at each team, sort of talking about like at the Athletics, like, oh, well, when they're hitting well and then they have this pitcher coming in, like you're just sort of taking some scenarios that work out, and they are finely tuned to maybe create these 19-0, 21-0 things that sound a little unrealistic. But you know, again, if you follow them blindly, you're up like 25 units over the last 100 picks. But I actually, before I pass the mic off here, I just really wanted to agree with both of the plays that Mike's saying about the Padres. I really think that, you know, Musgrove shut down the Reds the last time he faced them just 2 starts ago, 7 scoreless innings. And then I totally agree with Zach that there's value on that Texas Rangers line. They have actually been hitting really well. So even though the SDQL Gurus love the A's tonight, I do think this might be one that they miss, or at least there's value on taking the big underdog.
Yeah, there certainly is. And at SportsLine, it's a B play for Texas on the run line plus 1.5. So you won't get as much juice, but you get that extra run, which would certainly help and move in our favor. So maybe take the Rangers there as well. Another big favorite today that I think people need to be very, very careful of, because they got blown out last night by the Orioles 13-3. It was tied at 3, and then the Orioles scored 10 runs in the last 2 innings to sail the over the total. And again today, the projections, Houston 6.3, Baltimore 3.9, minus 295. But the last 4 or 5 games, guys, they haven't been playing good baseball at all. How, I guess, not scared, but when you lay this to bring it down to 1.5, even to minus 2, be very, very careful. Your thoughts on the Astros and such the big number that they continue to have because of the recent hot streak that it ended in Detroit.
Yeah, I think it was, and I'll take it first, buddy, and then you can handle it. I think that it's interesting that none of us wanted to fade Matt Harvey publicly today in this spot. I think a lot of it obviously is the price point that's required to do it. It's the fact that the Astros are at home and not on the road. If I'm laying a minus 2.5, typically I need that to be the road team that's better, right? I need that guaranteed 9th inning at bat when they're ahead. They get that opportunity to really pour it on. That's critical when you're taking a team on an alt line like that. And then the other thing for Harvey is the roof is going to be closed tonight, so it's a lot more of a controlled environment for him. I think that is going to potentially help him just a little bit. But look, I mean, if you want to lay it with Houston, I think it's an alt situation only. Perhaps the best way to take advantage of it is still probably going to be the run line, or being the team total. That's probably the only way you can really attack this one. I haven't done so yet, but those are the reasons. If you're laying those alt lines, just be careful. Make sure you're doing it with very good teams that have a lot of upside in an individual inning. And then I need all 9 innings if I'm doing it, for sure.
Anybody else? I think it's a great point that Mikey makes, because the over right now for team total for the Astros is 5.5 at a minus 134 juice. What that means is they can score 6, you win, and it doesn't matter if Baltimore scores 10 runs in the final 2 innings. So that might be the way that may be actually what I play here, is the Astros 5.5. Any thoughts, you guys, on the Astros and how much money they've been costing bettors the last couple of games?
Yeah. No, go ahead, Zach. Why don't you go ahead?
No, I don't want to go back to Matt Harvey here. We've been on him so much, or against him. We've won so many times, but he faced the Blue Jays 2 times in a row. Was able to. The Orioles got that win for him. It wasn't him. He was still down in the first 5, but I just don't like the price. I think there's better options tonight, maybe on the Rangers instead of them.
Yeah, I mean, I was maybe going to disagree and, refound Matt Harvey Day. I don't think that, one decent start where the offense sort of bailed him out is any reason to start saying that, oh man, maybe I shouldn't fade this guy. Like the 5.2 innings and, 6 hits and, a walk, this was still one of his best starts. And now he has to face the Astros, who are at home, who just got beat twice. I mean, this is kind of the place where even if he lets them down, I don't think the Orioles really care. They've gotten these 2 wins. It looks good. I could see this being a pretty big blow up spot for him. I don't hate the alternate total for the Astros today. It's not going to make it as an official play, but it won't shock me when it's 11-2 tonight.
Oh yeah,
maybe the over's only 9.5. Maybe I might sprinkle a little bit.
I'd rather the alt total, honestly, on the Astros. I think it's just he's pretty awful, man. It's worth like a season-long fade until he can do it multiple times, and he hasn't done it multiple times.
I wonder how many times they're going to continue to run him out there. I mean, at some point, you got to say his career is over. I mean, this is embarrassing, right? Come on.
I mean, yeah. It's not great. I mean, look, he still doesn't walk guys a lot, so you can argue that he has more control than maybe some other average pitchers. But he's getting hit up hard, bottom 6th percentile of expected ERA this year. If you can get a decent line with a team like the Astros looking to like reclaim some glory a little bit tonight, perhaps, I don't hate it.
All right, we only have about 7 or 8 minutes left in the show. And a couple of people over here, and it's been something we've been on, so I want to hit on it quickly. The College World Series has been so much fun and so much drama. Last night, Mississippi State lays it on Vanderbilt. Both games have sailed the over. We were on it in game 1, and the over hit in the first inning, courtesy of our guy Alan Bell. It's game 3 tonight. The over is sitting still at 7.5. Now, you probably have not dived into the numbers, but to me, because they've used all of their great pitchers, I may just play the over just because they have no pitchers left to play at this point if the starters get knocked out. Any thoughts on the College World Series?
I heard that they were pitching the Vandy. The Vandy was pitching the number 1 pitcher tonight, though, aren't they?
They were holding him up for tonight, but Mississippi State faced 2 or 3. Yeah, they are, but they have Mississippi State's out of their pitchers. They've been holding. They pitched the 17-year-old guy last night, and he didn't even make it out of the second inning. So it just feels like to me, yeah, he is an ace, and they have 2 first-round draft picks. But Mississippi State, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there because some people wanted it. But if nobody's on it, we will move on. I'm going to sprinkle a little on the over. But believe me, you don't take my word for it. Also, we are on the hockey game tonight, the under 5. We've been cashing a lot of plays. The Lightning have been scoring a lot of goals. They scored 3 in the last third period of the last game to really blow out the Canadians in the first game. Any thoughts on that total going under tonight? Any thoughts on hockey whatsoever before we finish back with basketball?
I wish I could, but I don't do it after the regular season, and I don't want to give you something that I don't have some actual data to back it up with personally. So I unfortunately can't give you anything there.
It's all good. All good. Guys, breaking news just came out. And we can hit on that before. Oh my gosh, I just lost it. So breaking news, something on Giannis. Greg, look up real quick. Breaking news on Giannis. It just came out on breaking news. Oh, no, it's just the no structural damage. Sports Center, why are you waiting so long to post that and make it look like it's breaking news now? It's not breaking news. It was breaking news an hour ago, and it just came through my feed. So, it is what it is. But quickly, before we finish with the game tonight, we should quickly hit on the game 4 tomorrow because there's going to be a lot of play on that. Bucks and Hawks in game 5. How much do you think – where do you think the line will sit tomorrow morning when really we can start betting on it, not knowing what Giannis might do? Because he's out. Trae Young is still out. The 2 biggest stars for both teams are out. We saw last night Atlanta played well without Trae Young. What do we think it'll look like tomorrow, guys?
I think Giannis is a little bit bigger of a deal in terms of like what he does for his team in terms of just like the physical presence alone, which is a little bit of a bigger translation on both ends of the court. Trae Young is an offensive mastermind, but you're not going to sit there and be like, oh no, Trae Young's out. What are we going to do on defense? Like it's just not how it goes with him. So Giannis is going to be missed on both ends of the court. It's not just going to be the Bucks needing to pick up his offensive slack. The Hawks are going to have an easier time scoring. So pretty glad I got that loss out of the way with Larry, because I don't think we'd survive tomorrow either.
Mikey, Zach, on that?
I'll say in this spot, I think that what the market is telling us right now too, the game's sitting at -2 for Milwaukee, total 215.5. I think what we see here is Giannis is pretty doubtful, right? I don't see any scenario that Giannis plays in this game. I don't think that Trae Young's going to try to play in this one either, right? I think that Trae, if knowing that Giannis is out, knowing that he might be out for the rest of the series, they're not going to do anything to further deepen that bone bruise and really get him beat up. So because they were able to get the win without him, because this is not going to be the elimination game for them, they're going to give him that extra 2.5 days of rest and make sure that he's healthy, for a potential finals appearance now at this point, because everything's shifted with that. The thing I will say for Milwaukee, they looked awful without Giannis, right? They'll look a lot better than that in this game. The issue is they obviously were never prepared for a scenario with Giannis not playing, right? Now they will be. Things will look a lot different. I think that they're rightly favored by -2 still, but what that price tells me is that Trae Young is going to sit as well. I would expect it to be a pick 'em in the market, or even -1 for the Hawks if Trae was going to play.
Wow. I think the under, Zach, might be also a play that's going to be very, very popular with most bettors, because when you take Trae and Giannis out, you're taking about 60 points out of the lineup. How do you think the total will be affected by tomorrow?
Well, we kind of saw the way they played without Giannis that last bit of the game. But for me, the takeaway from that game was the wide open shots that Atlanta was getting, even when Giannis was in the game. So they have to sharpen up defensively. Huerter was getting wide open shots. Lou Williams was getting wide open shots. They weren't guarding the paint. So that has to be the biggest adjustment, or Milwaukee's going to find themselves down 3-2.
Boy, it's amazing how quickly all of these series change when one guy is out, but that one guy is your best player, and arguably the best player in the NBA and your MVP in Giannis. Boy, what a scary moment it was last night.
Well, it looks like they have a defensive stopper for Chris Middleton, it looks like, too, as well. So
100%. Who would have known? Who would have known that you get hurt, you bring in a couple of guys, now you figured it out. Now they can lengthen their bench, which they weren't doing before. So that's a great point by you, Zach. Hey, Greg, I need you to text me the winner of our social media handle contest, because we are getting close to the end, and I, unfortunately, have to go to a dentist appointment out here on the West Coast. So you guys are going to be watching games. I'm going to be sitting in a dentist chair. So I go around at the end of every show and get final thoughts, anything you want to hit, any of your plays. Zach, we'll start with you. Everybody piggyback. Justin, M squared, you finish this off. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I'll still take the Mets, as I said, on the early edge this morning. I think their bullpen is the strength in this one. They'll finish out that one plus 135 currently. Paul George, just go with the star player here. He's going to continue to do what he's been doing, getting double-digit rebounds. He's facilitating the basketball well, six assists or more, 3 straight games. And I still think he's going to get around 30 points. So he'll be able to go over that 46.5 points, assists, and rebounds. I will add Jay Crowder over 9.5. That one might come back to bite me. I just think the veteran, he's going to make some shots. It can't continue to be just Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. He's got to find a way to make some shots. Chris Paul has to get the ball to him more often than that for that corner 3. And then last but not least, if all goes well, we can add the Texas Rangers, big underdog tonight against the Oakland A's.
Translation, follow him on social media and make sure you figure out what he's playing. Follow the experts. Jay Smooth, you're up.
Yeah, so I got a couple plays tonight. In the NBA game, I am going to go behind it and take that Marcus Morris over. I do think that he's going to get to, 15 plus points. So I'd maybe even look at like an alternate line if you want to get some better odds rather than something that's juiced at like 13.5. I don't hate it, maybe even higher. I think he can get close to 20 again tonight. And then I'm going to go with a couple baseball plays. I have the Yankees. I do like Domingo Germán tonight. I think he can get it done for the Yankees tonight, and they'll be able to hit Ohtani a little bit. He has not been great on the road. And then another play tonight, I'm going with the Phillies. I think Aaron Nola is probably like the best pitcher on the slate tonight. They're getting, a guy for the Marlins who just does not get out of the fifth inning. He should, give the Phillies a chance to get ahead on this one and win by more than one.
All right. M squared, bring us home, babe.
Yep. Starting with the Chicago White Sox, I added first 5 run line as well. That's coming back plus 115 on the full game run line plus 145. Love that Yoan Moncada is in there. Love that Yasmani Grandal is in there. They've got a number of left-handed bats sprinkled throughout the lineup. Those 2 key switch hitters. Do not think that Bailey Ober is pitching deep into this one. For the NBA, I'll put the official play out there. Going to be Devin Booker over 27.5. If you want to get cute and play somewhere that lets you parlay some of these, I do not hate taking both George and Booker on the alternate lines up to score 30 plus points each. I like those 2 together. I think they're highly correlated. And I think they're highly correlated. We'll stop saying that there. But other notes to end, I agree with Zach on Jay Crowder. As much as it is painful to see, I put my name behind Bogdanovich last night and Kevin Herter both got there. Very similar situation here. They need Jay Crowder defensively on the floor to try to limit Paul George here. He's going to play maybe his series high in minutes. And the reason for that is he's going to hit one of those corner threes early in this game from Chris Paul. And then on the Rangers, quickly, agree with Zach as well. One thing I like to do, if you follow me, look for a below average pitcher getting a massive change in environment. The idea of pitching in Texas versus pitching at Oakland, huge boost to his performance pitching in that environment. So that's why I think Zach likes him a little bit, and I tend to agree with it as well, although I haven't played it.
All right, very good. A lot of great information right there. A little housekeeping before we get out of here. Here is our second winner today. We did not get to 200 likes, so I'm just not going to give it out. You got to play the game. So the person who wins our social media handle contest at Sterling Gentry Jr. at Sterling Gentry Jr. Greg will reach out to you on social media and give you all the details. You, sir, just won a year-long subscription. Welcome to the family. Don't forget our golf-only episode with me and Rick G in your feed right now. Turn on those notifications. We get you all set for the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Bryson DeChambeau is your defending champion this week. Also, tomorrow, we're going to do a very special preview of UFC 264, which is next weekend, to really get you going for Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier a week early. We do it all.
Let's go.
We do it all for you. Let's go is right. The hours go so fast. Let's have a night. Follow all of my guys on social media, and you can follow me too. You never know what could be in your feed. All right, for Zach Attack, for Jay Smooth, for M Squared, for Greg, do not call him Gary, our producer. I am the coach. Remember, we'll see you tomorrow morning, every single morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, right here on the Early Edge. Good luck. Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Edge.